Welcome back to the HGC. We are currently watching Europe, the first match of the day, and Fnatic is up with a nice cushy 2-0 over Tricked Esport. Can Tricked Esport start the comeback, Caldor?
I think they're definitely strong enough to take a map here, but we have to really keep in mind that for Fnatic, it's incredibly important to put a 3-0 out. So they are not slacking in the slightest here. And what I find very impressive at this point is that they show different strategies. It's not only about the team fighting and trying to have the better edge in a big battle, but also to play the battleground. And this is what they're currently doing extremely well here. So for Tricked, this is a bit rough right now, but Fnatic has a lot riding on this match, so they are approaching this as if they would face one of the big three teams. So that explains a lot of how strong they come across here right now.
Well, let's get ready for game number 3 and see if Tricked Esport has a chance here to take a victory off of Fnatic. Which battleground are we going to? We are going to BOE, and Tricked Esport loves to head here, but the last time we saw Fnatic on this map in particular, it was a sub-9-minute game, as we saw the second Immortal get pushed in with the Sylvanas.
Yeah, the last time they had a pretty crazy comp there that snowballed very well for them, and I think their opponent never reached level 10 if I remember correctly.
It was against Team Liquid, by the way.
So that was one of the games where they themselves said afterwards, okay, we didn't expect it to go this well, but the idea was, of course, to use Sylvanas to snowball the game a bit. And that might be something that one of the two teams is looking for once again. Keep in mind, we're having heroes that are incredibly good on this battleground. Greymane, Sylvanas can be quite strong, and of course also Vala with a Q build on the arrow pushes out so much damage towards an Immortal that you have an easy time winning the objective if your opponent is giving you a few seconds to put all the damage on. So that's something that both of them are going to be looking for.
Yeah, priority is very important here. You got to make sure that you have the heroes locked down that are great on the battleground, but also to be aware of your opponent and what they are possibly going to pull out. Sylvanas as a 5th pick can be very devastating if you have no tools to actually slow down the fight or the aggression coming your way. Wave clear, of course, can be solid for the first couple of minutes, but again, it's all about that single target DPS. So let's move into it. Battlefield of Eternity.
Now we saw Cassia already as a hero. She didn't have the impact that Tricked was hoping for in the last game. Never really got a chance to show the teamfight abilities, to be honest.
Yeah.
The entire time she was sitting there saying, okay, boys, can we please get finally on with this? And Fnatic just said, no, we don't want to.
It's actually a really good point, too. One of the best ways to beat Cassia is to never put her in a spot where she can get the engagement. She wants to have her W into E combo on multiple people, and if you just Zagara and never give it anywhere, she can't actually engage. She has one of the shortest ranges in the game as an auto-attack hero.
Yeah. Now, she's definitely in a spot where you can play around her, ideally, of course. But that's exactly what Varian and Arthas were supposed to deliver, that ability to lock a target down and really go into these fights. But Fnatic just identified that early on and was playing around it quite nicely. So this time, of course, Tricked, let's see what they can do here. This is, of course, a 2-lane map. We have Fnatic already eyeing down the Arthas, since it's just such a staple in the setup for Tricked Esports. Alex is playing the hero whenever he can. We saw Arthas twice being picked up by them now. And Fnatic on this battleground, where you are forced to team fight, is saying, no, we're not going to have any of this.
Yeah, he's a staple in this battleground. There's too many ways for him to come in for flanks and out-rotate you. There's like a surprise that could happen at some point in the game. And the moment that Arthas does get that surprise on you, you're probably going to start losing that team fight if you don't have a way to escape. So it's always a solid ban, especially on this battleground in particular. A new Brack will be the answer back from Tricked Esport, and we get the Greymane pickup from Fnatic, which has been a staple for the last few weeks.
No-brainer pick for them. Great hero for quacknix in particular on this map, on this battleground. It's even stronger against the Immortal pressure. So yeah, this is just one of the heroes that's awesome to pick here. He can chunk down the Immortals so fast, and it's very similar to what we've been saying about the Sylvanas after level 7, or even the Vala with Monster Hunter on 1 and then repeating Arrow on 7. So that's really the thought process here. Greymane is amazing for the team fights. He's great for the objective. There's not really a big downside picking Greymane on this map.
Yeah, it's a good thing to break up, actually. Why Greymane over Vala? It's Vala actually doesn't bring that crazy much of a team fight with the Hungering Arrow build until that level 7 talent gets finished up, or that 4 talent gets finished up, where you actually can bring in the extra quest damage, and that usually takes a good few minutes to actually finish off. So Greymane at the start of the game is just great on the Immortal, as he mentioned, and can get into team fights and burn people down. So he just gets so much more value over the Vala. Now, over to Tricked Esport, we're going in for the hard engage. Varian once again, and Li Ming for the poke.
Li Ming for poke, and also explaining to a certain extent why they banned out a Nubarak this early. There's, of course, a couple of reasons. First of all, Fnatic has been running in Uberak a lot. We've seen them in these double tank compositions quite a bit, but depending on what they're running, either Breeze or Wooby is on an Uberak, so both of them have that in their arsenal. So the Li Ming here, as also a result of an Uberak being banned out, so Fnatic can't counter it. What Fnatic is doing is going straight in for the Muradin and also the Tyrael. So that's a lot of setup for Greymane, a lot of heroes that can dive in deep and also then provide a potential sanctification on Tyrael to help Greymane being on the point. And it also helps, of course, with finishing on the core.
Yeah, it's also just great for stopping resets. Tyrael in particular with Identification, the shields can pop out too. Muradin, if he needs to, can take a bullet for his team, jumping into a fight, dropping in the avatar state. So a great beefy frontline that handles Li Ming very well. So Fnatic answers back pretty swiftly what their opponent has.
None of the teams has picked up a support yet, which is actually kind of interesting if you think about what happened in the last few weeks when we're looking at these patches. It was a battle over Lucio, it was a battle over Malfurion, and oftentimes we've seen bans on even Oriel, since a lot of the teams were running these double support compositions. In the draft that we have here in Battlefield of Eternity, supports up to now mostly neglected. Now Tricked is the first team that could actually think about a potential support ban and just simply saying we ban one out and we take the other. But they are more so afraid of Shrimpy's Tracer, so they are banning her out, even though they hold the Varian, which is really interesting if you think about it. They have a good counter to Tracer already, but they respect Shrimpy too much to give him that tool.
Too much dive. Tracer can go in, and even if Varian did turn around and brought out the taunt, you would have Muradin or Tyrael just dive in and help out, give out the shield or Identification, and next thing you know, your Li Ming is dead because of Greymane and Tracer. So it makes sense to get rid of it here. Even with the tools being held, Trick just wants to make sure that they are safe and sound. Valla being the other hero that we've talked about between Greymane and Valla with the auto attackers, so Fnatic just hoping to get rid of that, so they have all the tools here to win the Immortal race.
Now this would be a statement already. Since they were hovering ETC a bit earlier, they already know that there's a variant, and they were a bit concerned about a second CC tank being added to Trick's lineup, and then switching it over to Valla, because they are simply saying, if we ban out Valla now, we have Greymane, then what we are more or less already winning is a race at the Immortal itself. So if we can make that work, we put pressure on Tricked in every single objective phase where they have to engage into us and take these fights, and we take a great tool away from them for good poke against the Immortal and also with good team fight capabilities here. Also, don't forget, if Varian goes in with a taunt and you have Valla not with Strafe but going into the Rain of Vengeance, you have a second stun that you can lay over. So that opens up all kinds of doors for Li Ming to get perfect combos in, and then of course the resets on top of that.
So for Tricked Esport, now I'm kind of wondering how do they handle this front line? While Li Ming can shell away a decent amount of orbs and Qs, you're not going to really break through that front line too easily, especially with that Muradin. If he gets any type of defensive talent, started winning at level 1, just allows him to be so passive. So what does Tricked Esport move into to get to that front line and deal with the Greymane?
I mean, one of the things that you can think about if you're going up against this front line is the Tychus again. We've seen that in the past already a bit, and there we have it. Tychus, I like it. So that gives you the damage output that you really need against the Muradin in particular. I think they were kind of forced into that hero. What else could they really have done? If you go for Lunara, I would not really recommend that against the setup that Fnatic is already running, and especially not this early. It can be countered too hard. The other option, I suppose, would have been a Sylvanas, but Sylvanas is falling off in the team fights quite a bit. So that would be a comp where you are forced to snowball or you're already lost. The silence, is that really going to do enough? If Tyrael gets the sanctification out, then not at all.
And so pushing with the Sylvanas into a Greymane, it's difficult with the cocktail coming out.
This is a bit safer, I feel, what they're playing here, since they can also use Odin to zone the opponent, and that pick, I feel, makes a lot more sense for them.
So we have our Sylvanas now for Fnatic. They are aiming to end this game early if they grab the Immortal phase, and they have a team set up for it. Boy, oh boy, here's Lucio as well to really keep those double tanks up. I
was a bit worried for Tricked Esports that Fnatic would do the Sylvanas pick up themselves now, because they already have Greymane for team fights, and for the biggest damage they have Tyrael and Muradin, so a great front line and also a lot of protection that they have here. After level 7, when Sylvanas picks up the Barbed Shot, she and Greymane together are going to have so much pressure on the Immortal that the smallest period of time that they can spend uninterrupted on the Immortal is going to chunk that thing down so fast that Trick just has no chance of winning it. So when it comes to an Immortal race, especially after level 7, Tricked is going to lose out on it. So they have to force these team fights. And that is where I would love to see them with another engage-heavy hero.
Johanna is a possibility for an engaged hero. You can also move forward with the Iron Skin, so you're set up to deal with the Muradins coming your way. You can also get on that Greymane and bring out the blinds. It also helps you with the wave clear. If you do lose an Immortal phase, someone else can move in, and they actually decide to grab Chen.
Okay, so throwing a little bit of chaos into that mix.
Yeah, that is some chaos right there. So Chin can bring dive potential to get on top of Sylvanas to slow down the rotations. There's just a decent amount of tools available for Fnatic to deal with his ranking. You have Skullcracker set up. You have Lucio boops that can bring in the disruption there. You can focus down the Chin afterwards. It's going to be a hard one, but I can see what they're doing here. They just want to force fights and get in the middle of them.
I'm not quite seeing it, to be honest, because I'm worried about the sanctification coming out, the silence, you mentioned the interrupts. I love Mia Chen, don't get me wrong. I love when we are seeing him on Dragonshire, for example, on the solo lanes. But here he has to be a huge part of these team fights, and he has to lock someone down. I am just a bit afraid for them, that with Sound Barrier coming out, that with Tyrael also going in, what are you going for here? Is it really just simply you trying to use Keck because your opponent doesn't have a cleanse, and then barrel a target in? The question then is, are you going to get that kill if Tyrael holds back Sanctification, jumps in after it, and tries to drop a quick Sanct? Then you are in trouble, because once that happens, Greymane is going to engage after it, and you are sitting there. So that's not going to work too much. If you go for triple pandas in that setup, then a Sanctification is again giving a great tool to your opponent. There's a silence also as well if that hits in time. So this is a risky move by Tricked.
It is a risky move, and we'll see if it pays off. They need to win here not to get shut out by Fnatic. Let's go into game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. Fnatic hoping to get a quick win.
Fnatic is hoping to snowball this. Indeed, we are in game number 3 of the series, this best of 5. And as you can tell, we have the 2-0 lead for Fnatic at this point. quacknix to the left side with Greymane. The spray paint game is on point. We have Bubi on Tyrael, Breeze on Murden, Smexy on Lucio, and we have Schwimpy on Sylvanas.
To the far right, in the red, Tricked Esport Nape on the Malfurion. We're going to have Chen playing Alex, or being played by Alex the Pro G, Rimmer on Varian, Eternal on Li Ming, and Crosby will be on the Tychus.
Crosby on Tychus, elusive Brawler taken on level 1. And yeah, the teams are enjoying the spray paints quite a bit. But I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed in Tricked Esports. Yes, I like the hot symbol as much as the next guy. But still, I expected a little bit more creativity here from team.
Yeah, a little disappointed, more like massively disappointed. You got Pleb Horses, Pleb Dino, and now we have Pleb Spray Paint. I'm not okay with it.
Tricked, why do you always have to be so harsh on players?
I don't know, man. I'm just that guy. I'm always going in on people, you know? I just love to be edgy in life, you know? That's what I am. Edgelord Trick.
Edgy Trick confirmed. Says the guy whose nickname is the Care Bear.
One day I'm gonna get over that, man. Be the Edge Bear, dude. We'll have like a tattoo on the side of the bear, like stitches across the side, ripped around the neck. Oh, it'd be sick, man.
Wait, do you have a tattoo?
No, I don't have a tattoo.
Okay, that would have...
I can't disgrace my skin with a tattoo, man. It's so soft and cuddly.
My body is my temple, I can understand that. Alright, so right now, when we're looking at the setup, we have down to the bot lane a 4-man, whereas up to the top, actually the 2 heroes are starting to rotate a little bit, but the original idea was the traditional setup with having a solo lane and a 4-man on the other side of the map. But it's going to be interesting to see how Tricked is going to play this with Chen now, especially the level 10 is really interesting to me. Is it really the idea of exploiting the fact that the opponent with Lucio doesn't have the cleanse? Is that the main idea here? The Sylvanas pushing abilities of Fnatic are of course immense, and that's something they're attempting to do at the top now. But they leave Tychus alone at the bottom to soak some extra experience. Fnatic is rotating Tyrael now down to soak that wave that is starting to approach their front wall.
On low on health, and Fnatic instantly rotates the Immortal. They want to jump on top or even get a pick off. Smexy finding Crosby will take him away from the area, and quacknix moves on in, gets hit by the Immortal. Slight maneuver missing out on there, but you see this damage being available. And Alex Proji instantly charges in.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why Tricked immediately went for the defense, because they know they have to defend first. They cannot simply trade blows. That just doesn't work for them. So once again, Fnatic is moving in. We have Shen on the way up to the top, trying to pick up the level 4 for his team. Still the pokes are happening down here as Fnatic starts to engage once again.
That's right, Fnatic moving in, Crosby low on health. Greymane does get hit by a stun as well as a root, but it's not enough to secure a kill. We're going to have Breeze pushing everyone away from the Immortal phase as Wubby and crew go for the final blow. They get the Immortal down to the halftime show, and they get out of the fight. Oh wait, here is a big root. Breeze doesn't care, he hops on out.
Tychus fell in that last battle, so that was a quick pickup for Fnatic, and also, of course, the Immortal down to 50%. We have at the top lane Greymane trying to, first of all, heal at the fountain and also take over the experience, which grants them level 4 abilities now. And that is already a help with Sylvanas now having her Shadow Dagger skilled off for a bit of cooldown reduction. A bit of poke by Tricked on the Immortal, but they just can't match what we are seeing from the side of Fnatic. They're moving in again. And keep in mind, this is without Sylvanas being on level 7. She doesn't even have Barb Shot yet.
Yep, that's where she really shreds through the Immortal. Tricked Esport now will move in for some defense. They finally hit 4 themselves, so Oxyprogy playing aggressive. Smexy comes in for a knockback. Does get Oxyprogy back away from the fight, while Breeze is on the right side here, trying to deal with Crosby. Crosby hoping to etch out some damage on their own Immortal.
Yeah, they're coming in from behind right now. Very unengaged as quacknix jumping onto Eterna. Knappe is low, completely isolated. Great move by Smexy, moving him into the stuns and taking him down. That's another kill for the blue team as they move on to the Immortal once more. Trick defending desperately on the left.
Fnatic needs to move in, kill off this Immortal. Tricked Esport is aware of it, so they rotate to their own Immortal to attempt to trade out some damage. Their shield is lower, but this is where the Sylvanas push comes into fruition. We're going to see that top lane taking some damage.
Trick gave up the Immortal. The moment they focused on their own Immortal, the only idea was we need to try and burn down the shield a bit because we're going to lose it like anyways. We have no more Fury anymore. We need to make something happen here. So that's what they were trying to do. And this is now another push with Sylvanas going up through the top. Immortal is moving in. And as you can see, both of the towers are basically gone already. So that Immortal is going to get extra value now for Fnatic and should net them a Ford on top of it.
Especially when they commit a 5v4. Breeze jumps over, goes in for Knappe. Breeze getting low on health. Smexy will actually take the bullet though, as Breeze will not get hit by an orb. Smexy healing everyone up now. Fort does fall, and the Immortal is still practically full health.
Yeah, and down to the bottom of the map, we still have Chen trying to get them some experience. Look how far ahead Fnatic is in experience right now. They're about to hit level 7. They're going through the wall at the top, and they're doing so much damage here. Chen is still trying to get the extra talent over to Trick, and Trick is... they are struggling here.
They are struggling. They cannot die. That is the main task here. A big root does hit, though. Oxyprogy jumps in, hits Schwimpy here, gets low on health, and the keep will be saved.
The keep is going to be safe for now, but Fnatic finds themselves very comfortably ahead with an entire talent lead. There's Skullcracker also. And this is a talent that we have been talking about a lot, since oftentimes it seems to be one of those talents that get picked up by a lot of players that don't really think about what they want to get out of it. In this case, though, it makes perfect sense since you have another tool that can interrupt Chen's talent. And that is so important to just deny him that shield. So this is great play here already on the side of Breeze, thinking about the adjustments that he has to make to just pressure the composition of Tricked Esports even more than it already is.
Breeze wanting to ruin the fun of Chen with a few stuns, man. He's going to work those in when he gets a chance there, not allowing him to drink on up. So we're going to have Oxyprogy on point with his management for that brew. We're going to have the Mercenary camp started here on the bottom. I'm watching Tyrael. Tyrael sitting in the top here trying to soak, getting closer to 10. Fnatic, if they do it correctly, they have a chance here to get an Immortal and hit 10 on a push and push in their opponent and get a keep at least.
I'm really a bit worried for Tricked right now, since I feel the whole idea of picking up the Chen was really the level 10 talent choice and getting value out of it, but Fnatic is already starting to snowball this quite a lot, and they have taken the first fort, they have put pressure onto the keep up at the top lane, so they are attempting a massive snowball against Tricked, and I'm not sure if that power spike on 10 is enough to put Tricked into a position where they can start a comeback and make up for how far behind they are already.
It is definitely the question that we have to answer, but we're 2 levels away, and the Immortal is spawning now, 10 seconds. And the Mercenary pressure is actually going to be pretty devastating here, as we're going to have Fnatic pushing in the bottom, looking to get that fort low on health. In fact, if they want, if Tricked Esport sets up so defensively, they can put Sylvanas down there to aid the push with that Mercenary camp.
This is a bit of extra time that Fnatic already has at the Immortal now, though. At least they can make that rotation top, but they're defending for now. As you said, they set Sylvanas down to the bot lane a bit to get the extra value. They want 10. They really want to have the 10 first. Yes. They had a chance to move in for the Immortal, get a bit of extra early damage in, but they decided against it. They want to play it safe with the Aurora abilities. Nice attempt to go for Wubi by Tricked. If they get that kill, it would be massive for them, but they're not able to make that work. So now we have Fnatic racing down the Immortal on the side of Tricked. Within seconds, it's at half health. And this is just brutal. Yeah,
at this point, experience is actually more value than the Immortal phase for Esport, because they have to get 10 to have defense here from the Sylvanas push. We have an aggressive play from Fnatic as they move in. They are chasing down Rimmer. Rimmer is pretty much locked down. That should be a kill. There we go. They do focus him down. 10 is now here. Fnatic, with a half-level lead, will shred down the Immortal and hope to push in their opponent.
This is 100% shields that we are seeing on the side of Fnatic. And Tricked is half a level away from 10. They will have a bit of a rough time picking that level up. maybe they were just gonna get it, but I just don't see it. We have Chen at the top lane, and he's gonna need 2-3 waves to make it work. Maybe if he can get a few of the structures there, but Grimpy and his boys are already down to the bot lane, pressuring through the fort. This is rough. Fnatic is going to have to face, they will have to face the level 10, but it should be so late that the keep is probably almost gone by the time.
Look at Chin on the minimap. He knows 10 is so important. He's even past the fort here to kill off the minions. That's where he's going to get that juicy experience to get to level 10. And they are about to hit it. They are very close. The Tricked Esport has at least hit that heroic level here.
That move by Chen made that work. That was actually a very smart move on the side of Alex. Really well done here to jump behind the fort to get that extra wave.
And now it's all about defense. Can Tricked Esport hold? It will be the Wandering Keg for our Chen. He moves in. It is on Breeze. Breeze pops Avatar. He's silenced for now. The Sound Berry is saved here from Smexy. quacknix moves in on Rimmer, who's low on health. Can he get the kill? The last second proc there on the defense will be enough for the defense on Rimmer.
quacknix is low. Here comes Odin once more. Rimmer in the back line. Keep is gonna fall for sure. There's still shields remaining on the Immortal. Fnatic is starting to pressure, but they move away as they still see the potential on the side of Trick to chase them. But the keep is gone and Fnatic moves away.
Interesting idea there. So they jumped on top of Murd and they brought him in. The minigun burned him down while he's being pushed away, and they silenced him to go for the kill. Luckily, Smexy came in with the sound barrier to keep him alive, but the plan from Tricked Esport is pretty obvious. Get rid of that front line, kill a member, and they can engage.
Yeah, as we said at the start, they're attempting to exploit the fact that Lucio does not have a cleanse. If you have a cleanse available, once that Chen jumps in and tries to go for the barrel, you simply cleanse the target and Chen barrels through it. So you are not in any danger whatsoever. But this is really a one-trick pony show that we see from Trick. They need to make this work or they're going to lose it. Once again, Whoopi is down, but that's going to be a massive explosion. 1 kill, 2 kills, and they go for the third. They will get at least 3 here with Varian falling.
It's all about the trait value for Fnatic, with Cherio coming in for the extra damage. Schwimpy with his own trait going to go burn off this keep here as they push it in, and that'll be 2 keeps that are not available for Tricked Esport, which means 2 lanes of Catapult will happen during the next Mortal phase. Holding this pressure will be difficult. Look at their wave clear. It's mostly going to be your Tygus and your Li Ming. Chen, to a degree, can back off, but burning down catapults isn't the best thing that he does.
Trick has put all the eggs into the one basket. Get a good keg, and then get the target, make a 4 versus 5 happen in your favor, and carry the momentum from there. And for that to work, they need to be on point. They need to find a good target. They need to make sure that there's no sound barrier coming out, and also that we are not seeing the sanctification on the side of Tyrael. It's incredibly difficult for them to make this work. The Chen pick, definitely a massive risk for Trick. So far, it hasn't worked out yet, and it looks like another kill for Fnatic is just going to increase the lead that they already hold with 7 kills against 1 by now.
Oh, poor Nappy. He was on his way to help out his tanks for putting pressure.
Poor Crosby.
Crosby low too. He B-steps, hoping that they'll leave him alone. They're actually delaying the kill here to show off the cool spray paints, but also because the Immortal's coming.
He actually started dancing or taunting. Awesome. But as you said, they delayed the kill to make sure that he's dead for much longer so that they have an even easier Immortal phase.
What? It's actually mostly about the spray paints, man. Come on.
Spray paint value.
That's a new meta right now.
Where's my Zerg decal? Where is the Zerg decal? I don't understand. there's only 2. There's 2 spray paints, the Zerg decal and the pew pew pew.
The PPV is really good. I like the heart one, the one with the hearts that pop up. Oh,
of course you do.
It's so good.
Oh, of course you do.
I will say my favorite emote is actually the potato emote. I don't know what it is about it.
Oh yeah, as the emote is great, but of course our little Care Bear here loves the heart emote.
It's so good. It's animated.
Of course you do.
Tricked Esport has to make a play now, and they know it. They start to move in. Here is a keg. It is on quacknix. Breeze pops Avatar. Nappy low on health. Lubby comes in for the chunk. Sylvanas Willing Arrow connects. quacknix swipes, and that's a kill. We're suddenly having more immerse fall.
Not in a million years. Tricked is trying, but they cannot find those kills. Li Ming dies. Fnatic with 10 kills against 1 at this point. Tricked knows fully well that this is more or less lost. Alex is diving in deep. He wants to at least see what Fnatic core looks like. And he's going to get a good picture of this, but Whoopi is already on the point. Tyrael is there, and he's going to deliver justice.
He can at least keep him here. Alex the Prodigy can live for a long time, but it is too late. Keeping Chen here is actually a decent play, as you don't have to deal with the Wandering Keg coming your way, especially with Varian still sitting in the middle too. And burn down the fort. Tricked Esports seems to have just given up on
Do
the
you
match.
know the Cowboard Illidan video where he just like keeps attacking people and they don't feel anything? This is exactly what we have happening with Tyrael and Chen over there. But Chen can of course not portal back as long as we have Whoopi just annoying him. Rema even coming in as well now. What the hell?
This is an odd moment, that's for sure. As Fnatic just moves in, they kill off Malfurion. Ooh, actually gonna get a trade there. Sylvanas just fall, but huge Immortal pushing into the core, and this looks to be game.
Okay, guys, as trolly as this might look, the moment that Immortal was taken with 100% shield, the game was over. So Tricked knows it, and they're just saying, all right, whatever, we're going to move to the left, we're going to take a quick look at the opponent's score. This is Fnatic closing it out with a 3-0. Super important win for Fnatic. Not dropping a map was crucial for them here. They make it work. A big risk ran on the side by Tricked with a Chen, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, Tricked there just having a giggle as they fall victim here to Fnatic. A 3-0. Fnatic coming out looking hungry, and it's good that they came out in this 3-0. They have another big match on Sunday, so being able to finish out this one as quickly as possible and start to prepare for Sunday is probably most likely in their favor.
Yeah, and again, what it came down to was pretty much the draft that we saw there. Fnatic more or less outdrafted Tricked to a high degree, and then Tricked looking at the composition. Tricked knew in the draft already we cannot outpush our opponent on the objective when them running the Greymane and the Sylvanas. The team fight abilities are also fantastic for Fnatic, so how do we play around this? Fnatic got everything they wanted. We don't really have a setup that can match them in the objective race. We are going to struggle a bit in those team fights. So they were saying, guys, we need on the last pick something that really shakes this up. They were hoping to make the Chen work. If they can make it happen on the same talent level, then they have maybe a chance. If they, for example, win the first Immortal by early on pressure, that didn't work out. They found themselves behind. They were trying to go with a Keg against the no cleanse combo. Didn't work out. So even though they really tried hard at the beginning, once the last Immortal was picked, they knew fully well this game is over.
Yeah, definitely came down to one moment, and unfortunately they could not seize the opportunity. Now, who did see something today is Fnatic with a 3-0, and we have team captain quacknix on the phone here. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you? I hope you did well. By the way, 3-0 today, so how does it feel to come out and put on such a dominant performance?
Yeah, obviously it feels really good to like end the series 3-0, because that means that even if we were to lose versus Dignitas, we still have really high chances in the three-way tie to finish with the first place.
So is that what you guys have your eye on now? It's all about getting first place?
Yeah, obviously, like, it's the highest goal we can set, so we're always gonna try to achieve the best possible, you know. So the first step is obviously to finish first, and then if we don't manage that, it's just about getting to the mid-season brawl, and then, you know, if we get there, we're gonna do our best to try win it.
Last question before I send you over to Calidor. Why do teams keep giving you guys Sylvanas?
I'm not sure, actually. Maybe they don't respect it, but I think, like, versus a team like us, I mean, I don't want to say it so it sounds cocky, but, you know, if we get what we want, then especially with Sylvanas, who is a hero that snowballs, you know, super heavily, they should really, like, respect that. And since we have done it in the past, they should, you know, really have that in their care box, and obviously not let us have it when we already had the picks we had.
Awesome. Well, we'll see if they deal with that in the future. I'm going to send you over to Calidor.
I basically have two questions. The first of all is about what we saw in the second map happening. We had a composition on the side of your opponent of Tricked where they were running a very heavy front line with Arthas, with Varian and the Cassia on that too. You guys drafted a Zagara with Nidus Network, and the question is basically, did you from the get-go say you would go into a Nidus Zagara, or was it something where you adjusted also with a late pick on Leoric when you saw how heavy teamfight oriented the comp was on the other side, and you said, okay, with what we're seeing right now, we're going to adjust it a little bit and play around it and play more to the battleground?
The thing is, I'm not sure how to answer this question, because the way I want to answer this question is all about putting the fear into Dignitas' eyes. So I don't know if I should say yes or if I should say that we adapted it. Either way, watch out, Dig. We have more in store.
All right, I like
Well done.
I like the shout out to Dig already. I have one last question before we headed into the series. We saw a tweet from Alex already calling you guys out for the match today, and he was also talking about apparently the sub games that you guys have planned on Monday. So after Fnatic took the victory today, do you think you personally can make it work against Alex in that match?
I mean, I will have another team when I play those matches. So
Oh,
we'll
he's
just have to
hedging
see.
already.
He might have a bigger chance in those games.
All right,
Maybe
fair
I
enough.
can give him a game or two, just so you know it's pretty rough to lose like this.
Wow, what a nice guy. Quacknix, so kind. Before we let you go, let's talk about your match on Sunday. You're facing off against Dignitas. You already had a couple words for them in one of your answers, but do you have anything else you want to say about the matchup?
Yeah, just the normal, you know, it's gonna be a really great series. I just want to make sure that nobody misses it because it's a super important series for both teams. It is probably gonna decide whoever goes out as first seed from the HGC. And you know, any series between the top 3 teams are always like super sick. So you should just make sure to follow that.
Well, Quack, I like listening to you and you smack talk. So is it going to be a 3-0, a 3-1? What are we going to get on Sunday from you?
So yeah, since it's about the top 3, I'm not gonna drop any smack talk. I just want to wish them best of luck, and hopefully our meta is better than theirs, and you know, whoever brings out their A game is probably gonna come out on top that day.
Super respectful, man. Always enjoy talking to you. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
I mean,
That face already.
can you see what's coming, Trick? Do you know what's coming?
I'm
Can you tell
ready
me?
for it. I can't. I haven't seen it before. I don't know. What is it? Oh, snap. He brought out the H2O.
Twist! Ah!
Quacknix, thank you so much. It's always enjoy. Congratulations to Fnatic. They gained a victory today, and they will be playing on Sunday against Dignitas. It's going to be a great matchup, and I already can't wait for it, man. I'm actually kind of wanting it to be Sunday right now.
Yeah, me too. I thought the entire